guys, here's what I'm going to be making today. It is this little gingerbread man house, and I think this plush is super duper cute, and one thing that I really like about it is that it is completely customizable. And so what that means is that basically when you guys make this plush, you can make it in whatever design you like, and I think that's a really cute thing to do rather than just copying my design. So as you can see, before I started making the plush, I drew out what I wanted it to look like. And I think that's a really good idea because it just makes it so much simpler when you're cutting out all the pieces and stuff, if you have an idea in your head. So yeah, I really hope you guys make these, and if you do, I would love to see a video response. And yeah, I'm going to get started by listing the materials that you'll need. To make this plush, you'll need felt in various colours. You will also need the template, which you can download in the video description, thread in the same colours as your felt, fabric scissors, a sewing needle, and some stuffing. First we're going to cut out the pieces. Using a coloured pencil, trace around your house templates onto brown felt. We're going to need 2 of this piece, 2 of this piece, and 1 of this piece. Cut out the pieces and you should get something like this. Okay, so to make the windows look like they have light behind them, I'm actually using fabric paint to paint on the background. And to do this, you need to take your little template. It's actually kind of like a stencil. I'm going to include this in the link in the description as well. And what I'm using is a mixture of yellow fabric paint and a little bit of white emulsion. And just placing the stencil on top, I'm just going to paint it in like this. And basically the stencil just lets you get a nice, neat shape that is hopefully the same size as the window frame that we're going to put on top. So I'm just painting this in, and the reason why I say do this before you cut out the pieces is that so that by the time all the pieces are cut out, this part should be dry, and so you should be able to sew it right on. So once you're done painting, you just need to lift it up, and as you can see, you get a nice neat shape. Okay, so next we're going to cut out the pieces for these little decorations. And like I said at the start, it is completely up to you how you decorate your house, so feel free to just change up the design and make it your own. To make the window frame, I used my template to cut out a piece that looks like this. I then folded this piece in half lengthways and used my fabric scissors to cut out a hole in the middle section. And if you do that correctly, you should end up with something like this. I then used my template to cut out another piece. And I'm just going to use my fabric scissors again to cut out a cross shape from this piece. Here is what that looks like, and now you can see that when I place my arc piece over the top of the cross piece, you get what looks like a window frame. Repeat this step to make the other window frame. Okay, so now I'm going to make these 3 little heart biscuits that I included on my design. So I used my heart template to cut out 3 pieces from this tan coloured felt. That's going to be the biscuit base. And then I also chose 3 other coloured felts, and I used the same template to cut out these hearts. Then I made the coloured hearts slightly smaller so that they can fit onto the biscuit pieces. And then used a fell stitch to attach the coloured pieces to the base pieces. To make the door, I used my door template to cut out this piece. And then I sewed this tiny button on the front to make it look like a door handle. Okay, so now I'm going to make the little lollipop. So as you can see, I've cut out these 3 pieces. This piece is for the stick, and then I have a red and a green circle piece. Then I cut my red circle into a spiral shape like this, and sewed this onto the green circle using a fell stitch. Then I cut out a slightly larger white circle, and again used a fell stitch to attach the green and red piece onto the white piece. Now all you have to do is attach the little stick and the lollipop is finished. To make these pieces that go down the side of the side pieces, I've just cut out 2 strips of felt, one in red and one in green. Place them back to back and secure that in place using a couple stitches at each end. And then as you can see, if you twist them like this, you get this really pretty spiral pattern. The window frame at the back is a lot simpler than the one on the front, so all I've done is just cut out a brown circle, and then again I just cut out a hole from the middle of it. Finally, I'm just cutting out some little coloured circles, and these are going to go on the roof of the house, some on the front, on the sides, just basically to fill up any of the empty spaces. I also made this Merry Christmas sign by just embroidering the letters onto white felt. Okay, so now all of our pieces have been cut out, we can start to attach these onto the base pieces. Okay, so here is what all of my pieces look like after I have sewn them on. Obviously yours will look different if you're using different designs and things, but basically I just used the fell stitch for these big pieces like these hearts, and then for the little circles I just used one stitch in each circle, if you guys can see that. And yeah, okay, so once all of the sides have been decorated, we're going to sew the whole thing together. So lay out your pieces like this with the base piece on the bottom and then the 4 side pieces around the edges. And I'm just going to use a blanket stitch to attach those 4 pieces in place. Here is what that looks like. And now using the blanket stitch again, I'm just going to sew up the remaining 4 sides. Okay, so here is what that should look like. You can see that we're starting to get the shape of the gingerbread house. And now as you can see, you should have these 2 little pieces on either side that kind of like stick out from the rest of the house. And that's just so that when we put the roof piece on, it's going to overhang a little bit. So yeah, just using the blanket stitch again, place this piece on top and make sure that you sew the blanket stitch on these little flaps just so that you don't get any holes. Here is a close-up of what that piece should look like. And then basically just carry on sewing all the way around the top of the house, add some stuffing and then sew up the gap. And then once you've done that, then we are finished. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this one turned out. I think it is really, really cute and I love how squishy it is as well. It's just like, So yeah, if you guys do make this plush, then I would love to see a video response. I'm really excited to see the designs that you guys come up with. And yes, thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.